All right, we've made it 10 chapters down. We have spent all this time building, piece by piece, the complete blueprint for AI security leadership. So now let's take a quick look back, a sort of victory lap, to really lock in everything we've learned together. This is our final walkthrough of the master plan. So to really make sure this all sticks, we're going to recap our journey through 5 key themes. First, we'll revisit how we laid the foundation. Then we'll look at how we built the core technology itself. From there, we'll cover the human element, then the external pressures, and we'll finish up with the most important part, the next step. This is how we're going to connect all the dots. Let's dive in. You know, we started right at the beginning, and for a very good reason. We laid the foundation. We established that before you can even think about building a defense, you have to truly understand the unique, always changing world of AI threats. This was absolutely our critical groundwork. Our journey kicked off by defining the core principles of AI security, really hammering home that this isn't just traditional cybersecurity with a new name. It's a whole different ballgame. And then we immediately put that theory into practice by profiling the specific risks you see in real-world tools, like your customer-facing chatbots or your internal fraud detection systems. And this right here, this is a perfect example of how we made things real. We used a risk framework, just like this one, to systematically figure out what we should be worried about most. It made it crystal clear that huge impact risks, like someone stealing your model or a major data breach, had to be at the very top of our priority list. Okay, so we've mapped out the dangers. We know what we're up against. The next logical question was pretty obvious. How do we actually protect the core technology itself? And that took us into our second major section, where we really rolled up our sleeves and focused on building the core technical defenses. This was all about protecting the 2 crown jewels in any AI system, the data that it feeds on and the model that makes it all work. And we saw that you have to tackle this from 2 sides. It's a 2-pronged approach. So first, in Chapter 3, we focused on locking down the entire data lifecycle. Then, in Chapter 4, we switched gears to reinforcing the AI model, making it tougher and more resilient against some really sophisticated attacks. And we covered some seriously advanced techniques for data protection. I mean, we went way beyond just basic encryption. Think about something like federated learning, for instance. That allows a model to learn from data all over the place without ever having to pull that sensitive raw data onto a central server. For privacy in industries like healthcare or finance, that is a total game changer. Now, for the models themselves, we drew a really important line in the sand between the 2 main types of adversarial attacks. We learned that evasion attacks are all about tricking a fully trained model. But poisoning attacks, well, they're way more sinister because they corrupt the training data itself to bake a vulnerability right into the model's DNA. But look, we all know that technology is only half the story, right? It's just one piece of the puzzle. So that led us to ask, what about the human element? How did we manage the people and the processes that are just as critical to security? And that brought us to our third theme, building up our human defenses. This is where we pulled together everything we learned about creating the right organizational structure and the right plans to back up our technical controls, everything from governance to incident response. Our game plan here was basically a 3-step process. First, we set the rules of the road with solid governance frameworks. Second, we got our people up to speed with specific training. And finally, because you have to plan for when things go wrong, we created detailed plans for incident response and recovery. We laid out a really clear top-down governance structure. The whole point is to make sure that the big picture strategy and risk decisions made at the board level actually flow all the way down to the project teams on the ground. It's all about making sure everyone is pulling in the same direction. And this was a huge point we made. When an AI-specific incident happens, like a data poisoning attack, you cannot just wing it. We learned that having a structured 4-step process, from detection and containment all the way to recovery and review, is absolutely essential to manage the chaos and limit the damage. Okay, so our internal house is in order. We've got our tech and our people lined up, but we don't operate in a vacuum, right? So we had to look outward. What about all those external pressures, the risks from vendors and the demands from regulators? So that's when we turned our attention to our 4th major theme, tackling that complex world outside our own walls. We explored how to handle the risks that come with using third-party AI services and how to find our way through the maze of new laws and regulations. And to deal with these external pressures, we developed another 2-part strategy. In Chapter 6, we built a really solid framework for assessing and managing vendor risk. Then, in Chapter 9, we dove into the important laws that govern AI to make sure we stay on the right side of them. You know, the big lesson here was that you have to look way beyond just the shiny tech when you're picking a vendor. The framework we covered really pushes for a holistic view, making us evaluate everything from their data security policies to whether they're even financially stable for the long haul. You really have to know who you're getting into business with. And of course, we had to talk about compliance. We didn't just gloss over it. We looked at landmark regulations like the EU AI Act and GDPR, getting a handle on how their rules about risk, transparency, and data protection are literally shaping the future of how AI gets built. And all of that brings us to our final and maybe the most important section, taking the next step. This is all about making that critical jump from the general blueprint we've been talking about to the specific, customized action plan that your organization actually needs. We wrapped up our entire journey in Chapter 10 with these 5 key strategic recommendations. Think of these as the pillars for a truly future-proof AI security program. Everything from setting up governance and building a security-first culture to using adaptive controls that can change as fast as the threats do. And that leads us to this, which is probably the single most important thing to remember from our entire time together. The framework we've covered is incredibly powerful, but its real value only comes from customization. Every single organization is different, and a one-size-fits-all plan just won't cut it. This tutorial from Virtualization Options LLC offers general guidance intended for a typical organization. However, every organization is unique and requires training tailored to its specific needs. This specialized training addresses the tools and processes that can help reduce risks and enhance productivity goals within the organization. Please note that the guidance provided may not be applicable to your specific situation and is offered without any warranty, expressed or implied. For this reason, we develop customized training after collaborating closely with an organization to identify its unique needs and priorities. For information on how to create an organization-specific training program, contact Bob Slovic, Chief Technologist at Virtualization Options LLC by email at bob.slovic@virtualizationoptionsllc.com.